fix the Mega Vape 1000. So the refurb of the Mega Vape 4000 carries on. This is not the Mega Vape 4000, this is the other half's lava tube. Quick vape, or giving it a paint job.
Piss it off. Quick blast off camera, a bit too high. Quick blast off camera just to get that a little bit underneath the handle and let it dry. So, here we go. First coat of paint. I'm not going to do the inside, no real need to. I might do it all layer around the lip here. But we're getting ready for the initial layer of design to go on. Unfortunately, this primer coat does come out a little grey. However, I have got very nice satin finish. Was Hoffer's Ford Sierra gloss black. So that'll go on top, and then I'll do some matte design on top of that. Should look pretty rad actually. As for the internal gubbins, I have got the Phono jack on order. Unfortunately, my local motors didn't have them in stock, so I'll have that within the next few days. And well, by the time you see this, it'll probably be done. But at the time of going to press, it's on order, and hopefully it'll be Monday next, Thursday, Saturday. But there you go. Midlands Vaping Mega Vape 4000. Looking good. Alright guys, those of you who have been following this will have seen that I have been working on the Mega Vape 4000. So let's follow the Aussie dog. Buddy, you boy. Come on in. To the shed. Hopefully I've got all the dog crap out of it, right? Like that. And why are we going in the shed, I hear you ask? Well, first off, we're going to look at this colour spray paint. Best results, use grey primer, so that. Full black spray paint. Now, the first spray job you would have seen was the matte black undercoat. But here we go. Get out into the light. And shut this. Hold that down there a second. Alright, let's bring this back into the kitchen. Now, rather simply, I finished the sort of primary paint job. I think you might have just seen my chin there. So I was walking in. It's very difficult to do this walking and talking to the camera. Right, find a clear space on the work surface. Oh god, chin again, sorry. There we go. Here we are. Ford Sierra black
coated, very shiny. A little bit of a dull spot just there. As you can see, there's a speckled finish to it as well. That's because I've got the first layer and it started to rain. But it's not going to be a massive issue, I don't think. I could rub it back and do it again, but I think I'm not going to. Look at that. And you can see it polishes right up, and it is a very, very high gloss finish. As you can see, the camera, right there, look, it's right there. So, there you go, that's where we're at right now. I'd like to say in the previous scene to this, I said I'd ordered the plug. We'll get back to that in a second. Hey there boys and girls, bit of an update on the Megavape 4000. As you would have seen in the previous scene, I've obviously done this bit. Nice shiny matte black finish. So matte black, nice shiny black finish. Full Sierra black, as I may already said. So that's now ready for matte. Well, I'll give it a polish up because I've got some fingerprints on it. But give it a polish up and mask it up for the hand paint job. Now I was debating on whether about airbrushing onto it, but I don't know if that will key properly without having to scuff up parts of it. But I might test patch that on something else later and find out whether or not I'm going to airbrush it or hand paint it. But I'm probably going to hand paint it, because for me at least that will give me the feeling that I've done something handmade to it rather than just spray. And of course rededicated purpose. Now the way forward, well, first things first, let's talk about this bit. This is the plug that goes into the back of the actual machine for this bit, which is the switch. That obviously fires the machine. Now first things first, what I want to do with this is I'm going to probably cut all this cable off to probably about that much. So obviously reduces the trip hazard. It's not being used in its theatrical purpose anymore. Obviously it's been turned into a vaporizing device. So for its rededication of purpose, I'm probably going to do one of two things for this purpose, for this reason. The bit that you've seen me mention earlier in this film was wrong. This is a 3-pinned phono jack. Now, what that means is most regular phono jacks are 2-pin. This has a 3rd. Now, I've got two choices. I can try and rejig this one about and resolder to it, nice and tight and hot, which I don't think is going to work. Or I can try and source a new switch unit, which I want to look into, and if that's too expensive, because that is a hefty old piece of kit, a lot of cable, and copper's getting quite expensive now to manufacture and buy. If that can't be done, then I will look into hardwiring, which will literally mean that switch will turn it on or off, on or off, on or off once the electrics have been activated and whatnot. So I can't see any reason why I can't do it, but we'll get to that in a minute when I show you the device itself as it stands. And then the only other remaining thing is, now let's have a look at the actual device now that you mentioned it, is this part here. Now this is where the juice will go into there. It'll condense, flow through and get atomised in here, and obviously come out this bit. Now many years ago I was approached by a fella who ultimately ended up teaching me blacksmithing as a return favour for this. As a radio controlled car enthusiast, especially fuel powered ones, he knew that I had a good working knowledge about fuel tanks and fuel delivery on a small scale. And he wanted me to design and build a fuel pump and tank system for a, well, what was essentially a fire sword. Most fire saws on the market these days are just a long piece of metal covered in wick, and they only burn for a few minutes. He wanted one that he could do a full 10 to 20 minute sword fight with proper reenactment swords, proper really strong steel blades and all sorts of doodabbery, but he couldn't figure out the fuel system, and he asked me to design it, which I successfully did. Now I'm going to do something similar to that with this. I'm going to design a clunk tank juice delivery system in this, which will be gravity fed. It will dribble down into here, and there'll be hopefully a little pipe coming out the top. The tank probably attached to the back here, I should imagine. Pump your juice in, it'll drip down into here, filter through, and obviously spit out. I will do more on that when I sort of get that more figured out in my brain. I'll jot down a rough idea onto a piece of paper and explain it like that. So that's where the Megavape 4000 is standing at the moment. Not particularly astounding. Just notice that the earth leads come loose, so I'll get some schematics and find out where that comes back if I can't figure it out immediately. But anyway, so not particularly astounding movement forward, but then I'm now in that designing stage. I've got a designer motif and the logo and the symbolism on it. So obviously it's going to be Midlands Vaping Megavape 4000, not 1000 as I call it at the beginning of the film. And obviously you start rejiggering bits and bobs inside and getting bits and bobs in and blah 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 blah. It's actually turned out to be a lot more complicated than I thought it would be. And for now, I'm going to leave you with that. Once I've got a design on paper, I'll put that up, show you the pictures of that most likely on the Let's Vape group first, obviously because they're sponsored by Midlands Vaping. Once I've got a better idea of what I'm going to do with the switch, either hardwiring or replugging, and something on the actual casing itself, and that delivery tank in there as well, we'll do a little bit more film and footage on that, but that's probably going to be a while yet, because obviously we'll have to get all these things in. Anyway, that's it for now. This has been the first technically challenge for quite some time, and we'll be working on some steampunk box mods at some point, which most people know about now anyway. In fact, if you bear with me a second, we'll be very unprofessional and go off camera. Grab some odds and sods from behind me here. This is the prototype that I started to build. This is the box. You can see the natty switch there. Got some little doodabbery here. Started working on a little cog motif to go on the front of it there. I don't know if you can make out any detail in that, but that's a very detailed little piece. That'll go sort of there on the front of the box. Another bit in here that I was building up. There it is. If anybody wonder about what sort of fine scale modelling I do, well, that's as fine as it gets. And that'll go on there somewhere. It needs to be painted up, obviously. A little clock face dial, which will go on there. Hopefully have some form of working spinning doodabbery. It'll be a straight up mechanical mod, but it's the basis to go on from. So that's something else I'm working on at the moment. I've got 3 of those planned, and obviously as I build them up, I'll film it and you'll see in future technically challenges. Technically challenged. I'm really not doing well with my speaking these past few days. Anyway, as I said, that's it for now really. Not really a lot going on in my technical challenge world. I'm going to start faffing about with microcoils and all these new fancy coils and see if I can master that level of coil building and sort of, I don't know, figure out some sort of esoteric thing. I've got an IGOW that I've been given permission to experiment with to a certain degree, so that'll probably come into it at some point. I've got to bore the holes in it, but I'll probably get Adam to do that at the next vape meet because I can't be bothered, to be honest. I've got enough on my plate. Yeah, I think that's about it really. Some sort of coil practice, steampunk box mods, and the Megavape 4000. More on all of that as it comes. So in the meantime, stay vape,
Return to the drawing board. I'm the Fury. You're gorgeous. I'm going to shut up now before I really just put my foot in it. Peace. So, yeah.